fantastic. I don't know whether you can hear how loud that is, just Hey guys, it's Ian from SS8000 Cars, and we're up at McLaren today, and we're up at McLaren to have a go in the 570GT, and I'll go through that over the next 24 hours a little bit with you, but it is great to be back. What a fantastic place this is, and the staff are just incredibly friendly. You know, I'm nice to meet Craig again, the chap that liaised with me when I bought the LT, and Anita, who's on reception, and she's fantastic as well. So I think without more further ado, the plan is really to get Craig out, and then we're going to go through the 570GT, and the 570GT is over here, as you can see, SF66 BH Peak. What a great number plate. And he'll tell us all about it. The 570GT is something that I've always liked. I mean, I like the 570S as well, as you can see the car in front, but the lines of the 570GT are fantastic, and I'm hoping it's an everyday car, because we do tend to use the LT a little more sparingly, and I want an everyday car. So we're going to walk into the McLaren showroom and see if the guys are around. I won't put Anita on film because she hates it. So we'll go all the way around and we'll just see if Craig is actually available. Would you believe? Hey Craig, how are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So we're up here to look at the 570GT.
Yes.
And we're excited about it.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I think it's more of an everyday car than the LT, I think, isn't it?
I would say so. We've tweaked quite a few elements of the car compared with the 570S.
Right.
So I'll talk you through them in a little bit of detail and see what your thoughts are.
Well, should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, super. Now, if you remember the last time when you were about to go through the LT with me, we got so far and you went, aha, I've forgotten the keys. Have you got the keys today?
I'm prepared.
So I was just explaining that this is the 570S.
Yeah, this is the 570S, so this is our current demonstrator. So it's a MSO paint, MSO Fistro Blue.
It's lovely actually, isn't
gorgeous,
it? I do like that. It's
very, very rare colour.
And also it really plays well against the carbon fibre, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a lot of carbon elements.
Yes.
Carbon front, aero blades, door mirrors, door inserts, side intake, side skirts. It's got a big spec on it. This car, this was just under £185,000.
Oh, right. So that's a big spec.
Yeah, it's got a massive spec.
I mean, it's nice, isn't it? I mean, I like it inside as well.
Yeah, it's got the Napa Alcantara.
Right.
The
really
yellow
nice.
contrast stitch yellow seat belts to complement the brake calipers. So it's.
And what wheels are those?
That's a 5-spoke lightweights. So that's
right.
These a lightweight wheel in a stealth finish.
And they come as standard with carbon ceramics.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I mean, I was saying to Craig earlier actually that one of the things that I've thought is that if this is to be a car that we have every day, then actually I'm less bothered about all the carbon bits, and I'm more interested in the way that the car drives, whether it's usable on the motorways, but still gives you quite a bit of excitement on the twisty bits.
I would say so, definitely.
Okay, so this is it?
This is our 570 GT demonstrator.
And what colour is that in?
It's called Cobalt Violet.
Wow.
So this is a new special paint by McLaren. It was brought out at the same time as the GT was launched, but it's also available on 570S.
Right.
So we thought we'd specify it on our demonstrator, let people see it, and I'm sure
it's smart,
isn't it? Stunning, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Fingers crossed the sun will come out at some point in your trip up here. And
it's a really gorgeous colour actually.
It's absolutely stunning.
They're fantastic, and I like it with the silver wheels actually, I have to say.
Yeah, so this is a new wheel design. This is a 15-spoke alloy wheels. So these are exclusive to the GT model. So still
19-inch at the front and 20 at the back?
Yep, exactly the same. 19 at the front, 20 at the back, but purely exclusive design to the GT.
Right.
Done in the silver finish, which comes as standard, or you can choose to have them done in a stealth finish.
It's nice with that particular colour, isn't it?
Isn't it?
The silver.
It works very, very well.
I think although don't get me wrong, I love stealth the black wheels.
Yeah.
But I think with this colour, it's just a touch more sophisticated, isn't it?
Definitely, I would say so. We've got the silver brake calipers there as well with the black McLaren logos.
Yeah.
And the GT is coming with the steel brakes as standard, as opposed to the ceramics which you've got in the 570S. So you should feel a little bit of a difference there as well when driving. In terms of the specification of this car, so you notice now we've got the body coloured door inserts.
I quite like that actually. Yeah, I do.
Again, that's exclusive to
compared to, you can presumably have them like that.
Yeah, you could have them in carbon fibre if you wanted.
Yes, like on the 570S rather. Yes.
On the 570S, but I think it's quite nice, a little bit different as well.
I think so too.
On the GT, obviously coming round the back is where it all sort of changes.
Yeah, wow.
So you've got a panoramic roof on the car.
Right.
Then continues down onto your glass hatch here.
Okay.
So we've got the glass hatch. So if I press a little button on the key here, and you see the glass hatch just opens up curbside.
Do you know, when I was at the Geneva show, I'm positive it was the other way around. Is that because it's left-hand drive?
Yep. Because it's left-hand drive.
So this is meant to be if you're parked on the left-hand side of the road.
Yep.
It flips, so you're not actually in the middle of the road whilst you follow you. Okay.
So that's the sort of thought behind that. So it opens beautiful. If you look actually at the design of it, it's all carbon fibre.
Oh my goodness, it is, yeah.
Again, for
so
weight
incredibly
saving.
light.
Yeah, so the 570S comes in at 13 kilos.
Right.
The GT's a little bit heavier, it's at 1350 kilos, but not a massive difference to be honest.
That's dry, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the dry weight of the car.
Well, that's pretty light.
It's still very light, it is indeed. And you'll see we've got the two bags in there, so that's a weekend luggage set in the back there as well. Okay. Which is something that you can buy with the GT also.
I do think that the lines of the car are nice. You know, it really flows, doesn't it? Whereas clearly with and this is true of the Spider LT compared to the coupe. The coupe, the lines flow a little bit more. With the Spider, of course, inevitably, because you've got to put the roof behind the seats. You lose a little bit of the flow-freeing nature, and it's the same a little bit with the 570S and the GT.
Definitely, no, I would agree.
And I do like the full panoramic roof. I mean, that's rather nice as well.
You notice when you're inside the car, it just brightens it up so much. And this car here, it's got a by McLaren luxury interior.
Right.
So we've opted for the Aero leather. So very light leather. And it's
are there quite a number of different combinations you can have? Yeah, right. Okay.
You get all the same options on the GTs you've got on the S. So you get a massive array of interior options. So you can specify exactly the way you'd like, sort of thing.
Well, we've talked through the infotainment centre and everything, but quite clearly it looks a bit roomier in here.
Definitely.
Than it is in the, and also it looks easier to get into.
Yeah, well, comparing it with your LT, they've tweaked it. So this has got what they call carbon fibre monocell 2.
Right.
So they've dropped the sill height by 85mm at the lowest point there.
That's quite a lot.
Which does make it a lot easier to get in and out of. You're still retaining the dihedral doors, but you open they open a bit more sort of perpendicular as well.
Do they?
Yeah, a bit more upright compared with on the.
Sorry, we're gonna just walk right.
You see, they're a little bit more upright as opposed to.
Yes.
Outwards.
Okay. No, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Sort of in keeping with the everyday car type.
Exactly. That's it.
But still an occasion.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I mean, I admire McLaren for actually, because obviously it's more expensive to develop doors that do this than the standard doors that you just pull out. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, with McLaren, it's an event, and this all adds to it, really.
Exactly.
And this has the privacy glass, does it? Is that an extra?
That's standard. That's standard. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got the tinted windows through the rear, and obviously your panoramic roof as
that's not.
No, that's the standard tint.
But I mean, you can't see anything through there anyway, so it's a bit. I quite like the privacy windows. I have to say, yeah, it sort of suits the car again.
That's it, definitely.
Wow,
that's absolutely gorgeous.
So, in terms of the carbon packs that you can get on the GT, do they have packs which include like the front splitter, and the rear diffuser and the side? How does it work?
Yeah, you've got two different carbon packs, and then you can specify other carbon components independently as well. believe it or not, the front end of the car actually comes in 2 sections.
Okay, right.
So you'll notice it on the blue car in a second, but basically that's your you could get that in
carbon fibre, right? Okay.
Aero blade.
Yes.
And then this is an additional carbon fibre piece, which is your front splitter.
Okay.
So if you look at the blue car,
come to the front of the.
You'll notice that's got a carbon fibre aero blade.
Ah, yes, I see that.
The front splitter is in dark played-in grey.
But you can get that in.
You can
carbon
get that
as well. Right,
that's
okay.
part of an MSO pack, though.
Right.
Which is £9,995.
What does that include, Craig?
So
sorry.
that you're getting your front splitter on the car.
Yes.
And you're also on the S you're getting your rear bumper, so this section here.
Okay.
And your rear lip spoiler, so this section
right.
here. And then you could also specify the rear deck on the.
But not the skirts. The skirts is a separate item.
Is a separate item, yeah.
Right, okay.
So in a
and
pack,
presumably this is too. So the actual area here, which is clearly
your side intake.
Yes.
And then you've got your door insert.
Right.
So again, 2 separate items.
Okay.
So you could get the side skirt and the side intake in a pack. No, sorry, the side skirt and the mirror casings in a pack.
Okay.
And then your side intake and your door inserts would be separate.
Okay. 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 So I'm with you there. So that's all individually specified.
So you can have as much carbon fibre or as little carbon fibre as you wish, essentially.
And again, we're full carpets in here rather than any exposed carbon fibre. But presumably underneath it is carbon fibre. Yes, because the monocell.
So monocell too. So again, exactly the same as LT in the sense that very lightweight but very, very rigid as well.
Right.
And no compromise in terms of rigidity whatsoever.
Yes. What was that? Just started.
650S.
So 650S.
That's fantastic.
Sounds good as well. And then you can see here that you've got the panoramic roof, and you're absolutely right. It does bring a bit of light into the cabin. And I think the way that they've sort of, I don't know whether you call that the floating centre console?
Yeah, that's the best way.
Is that a good way to describe it? Okay, yes.
As opposed to the tunnel which you've got, which continues down on the 650S and the LT.
Yes. And I think that creates a bit more airiness. It's probably not. The dimensions are probably not hugely different, I suspect.
No, but I would agree.
They've just worked on it, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And made it fit.
Exactly.
Well, again, because of the nature of this car, it's sort of your GT, isn't it?
That's it.
I mean, I know it's called GT, but it really is a Grand Tourer.
Yes, yeah, they've tried to make it as usable as possible.
And yet, still, if you want to take it on the circuit, it's a bit of fun.
Very capable, yeah.
Which is probably why, to be truthful, I would actually spend the money and get the ceramic brakes.
Okay.
Because I think ultimately, if you want to do just so you can take it on the circuit, I think if the steel brakes will never last to the extent the ceramics will.
Certainly.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I get in here and you want to get on the other side?
You want to open the driver's side and I'll go on the passenger side.
Great. Now the funny thing is, actually, the difference in size, outward dimensions on the GT and the 675 are not that dissimilar, but somehow it looks like a more compact car. I'm not quite sure how that is. I'm also not quite sure how to get in. Oh, there we go, done it. Right, so we're climbing into. Oh, that's much easier. Wow.
Oh yeah.
God. Chalk and cheese.
That's it.
Okay, so I'll bring this down. That's just the same, is it?
Yeah.
This one got soft close, or is it?
It does indeed. Yeah, it's got soft close as standard on the GT.
Can I try that?
Yeah, no problem.
So one thing, as you guys know, we don't have soft close on the LT, but I don't miss it. Once you get used to how much effort to use,
Exactly.
But I can just do.
Go.
Wow, okay, I do quite like it. On an everyday car.
Yeah, that's it.
So in here you can see quite clearly we've got a couple of bags behind us. Presumably the luggage space available in the front part is the same.
Yep, so you've got 150 litres in the front and then 220 litres in the back.
In the back.
So overall you've got 370 litres, which is very, very good, very impressive.
And although you're quite low down still, which is sort of very, very sporty in its feeling, there is absolutely no question in my mind at all here that the airiness that you get just generally is fantastic. I mean, one of the things I seriously like about the LT is I love the way the front screen comes way down. And although I accept you can't see the front, you can't see the very front of the car. But you do feel like you know where everything is.
That's it. Definitely.
And then this just adds a little bit more. I mean, obviously these bags aren't helping, but I'm assuming they'll come out.
Yeah, we'll take them out.
You're not getting them to
just leaving them in to show everyone.
No, it's a good idea. But I mean, the reality is, if you don't have them there, you're going to get really easy.
Your overall visibility throughout the car is fantastic. And you can see your front wheel arches, so you know exactly where your wheels are placed and everything as well. So it's fantastic all round. It really is.
Right. Okay. So here we are.
Yeah. So we'll start the car, and I'll talk you through a few of the features. So I've got the key here.
All right.
So it's keyless. So all we need is the same as LT procedures. Foot hard on the brake. Yeah, just foot on the brakes then, and then your engine start button is just down the centre console there.
Okay.
Yep.
So we got in pretty close to the same position as it is in the 675.
There we go.
That still starts with a great throb, doesn't it? In effect, what a great noise.
Oh, it sounds phenomenal. It really does.
But it's basically the same engine as the 650/675, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's still the same base.
Yep, 3.8 twin turbo V8. But they've changed quite a number of components, obviously compared with the 650 and the 675, different turbos, etc.
Right. Yes.
But it is essentially, as you say, the same base unit there.
Okay.
You'll notice as well on the dashboard we've got the full TFT display now as well.
Yes.
As opposed to any analog rev counters or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So this is something new to Sports Series.
Right.
So what I'll do just to show you how that works is with our active dynamics panel down here, you'll notice it's the same as on your LT. So you've got handling dial and you've got a powertrain dial.
Okay.
Within each of NST, so normal, sport and track.
Yep.
If I press active to activate it, and you'll see it's illuminated. And now if we look at our TFT display, as I change it into sport mode, you see the display changes.
Right, okay,
and as I change it into track mode, you see the display changes yet again, so you get a P1 style layout there.
I quite like that.
It's really cool, I like it. It shows you your fuel percentage there.
Yes.
It's showing your engine oil and coolant temperature, and also your gearbox temperature.
Understood.
So it's quite bright just now, so we might not be quite able to make it out, but we've got a little blue square around it.
Yes, see that.
That's showing that everything's cold at the moment. That will go green once everything's up to temperature.
Okay.
And once you actually hit the road as well, next to each of the tyres there, it'll come up with the tyre pressure and also your tyre temperature.
Okay.
So it's giving you a very accurate
Funnily
reading.
enough, on the Speciale, you have something similar to that if you're in race mode.
Ah, okay.
But not in sport.
Yep. It's a nice
but I do like the trouble is I suspect on the road race mode is not necessarily the best and most comfortable positioning, but that is really cool. I like that. It's very, very similar to the way I imagined the P1 was.
Definitely. Oh, it is indeed.
And was it you or Anita was saying to me in the showroom that one of your directors has a P1?
Yes, he is.
Have you been in it yourself?
I have indeed, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
right,
fortunate enough to have been out in it, and it's they're mind blowing. They really are.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Been fortunate to have been out in a few P1s on different occasions. Out in track in one, been out on a runway with one as well. Done 213 miles an hour on a runway with one, which was mind blowing. So they're just incredible. They're absolutely out of this world.
But the basic DNA, appears to be the same, doesn't it? Yep. That it seems to have sort of found its way all the way through the McLaren, the different series. So the P1's the ultimate series,
yeah, that's right.
And then the 650S and the 675 are the
Super
Series, and then this is the Sports Series.
If you strip it all back and start looking at all these things, they've all got the same 3.8 twin turbo V8, albeit the P1 is coupled with a hybrid motor, but it is essentially the same engine,
just in slightly different tune states. I suppose.
Exactly. And P1 uses a carbon-fibre monocage, so you've got a full cage.
Right.
Again, coming down looking at the Sports Series and the Super Series, they're still using carbon fibre as the main structure of the chassis in the car. Full carbon fibre construction for the chassis, so they're all as light as possible.
They sort of have a base, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't quite understand what you said about the P1 and its carbon fibre structure. Is it slightly different to the Super Series and the Sports Series?
Yeah, so these have got carbon fibre monocell, whereas the P1's got a monocage, they call it. So
so the whole thing is
encompassed in the overall chassis design of the car.
Because of course my LT is the Club Sport version, which has the titanium roll cage, which is presumably bolted into the chassis.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that does give it a phenomenally rigid,
definitely,
which I like.
So down at our active dynamics panel down here, we've also got a few additional buttons.
Right.
So as explained earlier, we've got the active button, which you need to press first of all to activate the panel.
Okay.
You've also got launch control in the car.
Right.
The same as on your LT, so it'd be a case of left foot hard on the brake, right foot flat on the accelerator. You need to make sure your oil and coolant and everything are up to temperature first of all.
I shan't be doing that over the next couple of days. Actually, do you know I haven't done it on the LT yet?
Oh really? We've got auto start stop, which is something that they've brought out for the car.
Right. So basically, when you're in traffic, it kicks the.
Yep, it kicks in.
Yep.
And then the handbrake has now moved. So obviously the handbrake on your LT is down here.
Yep.
Down there.
Is it pull up for on?
So pull up for on and push down for push in. For off.
For off. Well, we've got a 570S coming around the corner.
For McLaren Red 570S.
Very smart.
Beautiful car.
Beautiful car. Don't they sound fantastic? I mean, you know, McLaren have absolutely retained the same. I suppose it's partly because you know it's maybe detuned, but it's the same engine. They're all the same, so the sound is going to be similar. But I think the sound is great.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
There's nothing else around that sounds quite as distinctive as the McLaren V8 Rumble, I call it.
Definitely.
It's just utterly fantastic. And there's no need for sports buttons or loud buttons. They just sound like that all the time, don't they?
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Well,
the right options.
Well, thank Craig very much for running through things with me. I'm going to wander around the building in a second because they've got some just fabulous cars.
Definitely.
No P1s today, though.
No P1s today.
That is so upsetting. Next time I come up, you'll have to organise for me. Now, you see, there's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was maybe if you knew somebody that actually had a P1, which I mean, clearly if your director has, you do. Maybe he could bring it in for me, and maybe I could do a. And of course, if he was willing to take me around the block, I'd probably forgive everybody for everything.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Craig.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much.